end the Federal Reserve. And they're now putting these videos out, which I agree with what you said earlier, that it's meant to, you know, sell black folks and other people to not notice that they're the ones really being targeted in Arabs. So as you said, pattern interrupt, that's one layer. But the other layer is they're training police everywhere. And they're training even the Boy Scout Explorer clubs and the military to take on, quote, gun-owning white rednecks. They say that's the group that's going to attack the government because, look, McVeigh did it. And you'll say, well, look, he did. I've got total proof the government staged that event. So I'm beyond all that. My point is, just like Hitler used an unpopular groups of communists and Jews first to beta test everything he was doing, and the Germans were like, get him, then he flipped it around on everybody by the end. That's my point. What is your take on that?
Ultimately, the video that DHS is putting up, the reason I think they're now using white people is because the automatic assumption that anybody who's a threat is brown has led to security breaches or the potential for security breaches, because they're automatically, their own pattern is, why would I look at a white guy? That's not who my enemy is. But then you have, let's say you have a Muslim extremist organization, an Al-Qaeda-ish group, for real. And you know,
a real Easter bunny,
right? Exactly. Well, it's a
real Santa Claus,
right? Sorry, they know
a real Keebler elf.
They know it's not a real
garden.
They know it's not a real
toothberry.
Right, a toothberry.
Toothberry.
Yeah, he's one of the scariest creatures in childhood.
You haven't seen a toothberry?
No, it's horrible. Yeah, and the crunchy and yet no nutritional value. Entirely made of enamel and hanging. The tree is frightening.
Captain Crunch.
Yeah, right.
Some other mythical creatures.
Let's say
unicorns, leprechauns.
Right. Okay. So what I'm saying is, you're at one point saying there is no Al-Qaeda threat. This is a manufactured thing. There are no extremists coming with strap bombs to go on a U.S. Airways flight from Vegas to Idaho.
There may be some, but in other cases, it's confirmed the feds are getting mentally ill patsies on planes. Oh, I mean, they got Mutalib on the plane. That's admitted. Drooling. Drooling with no passport. U.S. government got him on.
Right. Here's the thing. If you have TSA and their habit is every time you test them, no matter how many times you tell them, there's these 9 people are actual threats. I don't mean manufactured. I mean genuine psychopaths who roam around. You've got somewhere in the order of 100 million airline passengers a year flying in the air. There's 1 in 78 people are legitimately psychotic.
But that's like saying somebody might rob your house, so we got to put armed guards in it. The world isn't safe.
No, it isn't, because your house isn't going to fall out of the sky and land on other people or kill other people who aren't there.
Yeah, the idea that the government must guarantee our safety is the absolute road to bondage.
Okay, but the idea that
give me an air company with no security, and I'll guarantee you they're going to make so much money. Look, I want to accept the danger.
Okay, great.
I want it. I want freedom. Right. 1776, not a nanny state.
Right, but then the plane lands on somebody. It's not a house.
See, it's all communal. Now we have socialist health care, so the government's going to tell you what you can eat because we're now all tied up in your health. Oh, the plane might fall on somebody, so we got to have a proctology exam. A 6-year-old girl.
Right.
The government are terrorists. Break your conditioning.
And you're the one with the conditioning. You're the one repeating the same marker. Look, here's the thing.
They're the ones staging the terror.
Gotcha. Okay, so
they're the ones staging the terror.
As a human being,
they're the ones staging the terror.
I, as the person who actually wants a valuable society around me. Okay, I don't give a shit about.
I'm do it again. We can't do it one more time.
I understand. Third time and I'm out. I can't. I get it. All right.
You can't debate me with actual intellectual words.
I can't debate you when you're not allowing me to talk.
I agree. That's true. Go ahead.
Don't be a goon.
I'm winning.
Listen to what I'm saying.
I'm winning.
No, you're not.
He's getting mad. He's getting mad. You can get loud, too. Go ahead.
No, it's your show. You'll always have this silver mic. Look at this. They could turn this thing off at any moment.
That's actually a better mic. The problem is I don't want it in front of me.
It wasn't because I swore. This is a conspiracy. Those people at home who heard those missing spots, it was because I said something.
This is not just XM.
No, I know.
Go ahead.
Right.
I can't do it.
You can. Okay, here's the thing. I
was mainly joking around. You look genuinely angry.
Do you believe in any governmental protections, police, fire, that kind of stuff? Do you? Or is it all volunteer?
I do believe.
Is it all volunteer?
You're doing that lawyer tactic.
We'll deputize.
You're not letting me answer, and you're continuing with your debate. I believe in constitutionally limited government. And obviously we've got too much government right now.
Okay, do you believe
here's the deal. The government's adding jobs. The private sector's laying them off. We're losing the private sector.
Do you believe
we're losing the private sector?
No, we're not. Do you believe in
we're not losing the private sector?
Do you believe in constitutionally limited corporations? The corporations are licensed by a government.
Yes. I do believe that corporations, especially when they're multinational and pay no taxes, are not alive and are not people. I think it's okay if somebody wants to incorporate for their particular local small project, but I am against mega corporations.
Okay, great. At what point does a small government able to compete with a mega corporation? Because you're going to have an either or ultimately.
If you cut the size of government, the mega corporations aren't going to be able to siphon the wealth off. Mega corporations get their profit from government.
No, they don't. They roll into local areas and suck all the resources out. This is a problem with a resource-based economy. That's where mega corporations get their stuff. It's not from inventing or creating appliances or something that you have to actually compete with other people. It's oil, it's sugar, it's cocoa, it's orange juice, and these people roll in.
Actually, more and more the corporations make their profit off of government contracts. But listen, I agree with you on the other issue. Let's just go back and be serious.
You're drinking your milkshake and you let them.
Let's go back and be serious. Let's go back here, though.
Stop them.
Let's talk about.
You're more afraid of the government than you're afraid of somebody like BP sucking the water, not the oil.
I said BP should go to prison.
Right now, T. Boone Pickens is sucking the water out from under Texas.
While trying to get cities to pass laws to shut down their water supplies, so he makes more to create artificial scarcity.
Governments don't have the fight back.
Richard Hunter, comments?
Yes. Can I interject a thought here? A general feeling that I have.
You're not getting my guns.
A general feeling.
I don't want your guns. Where do you get the idea that I want your guns?
It was a joke, man.
A general feeling that
you're actually scared I want your guns. So the joke is based in your actual fear base.
Well, I mean, the average Democrat does want my guns.
No, I don't.
Obama's for gun bans.
No, he isn't.
Richard Hunter!
You guys tell me what's wrong with this idea. I have a general feeling that
you want a fist fight, pal?
The only people I'm not going to allow you to fist fight. The only people that I completely understand inherent distrust of government and corrupt elected officials. The only people that I may distrust more are for-profit, privately owned CEOs, because there is more money to be made in the private sector. What about that?
Yeah, I think Endgame is a great product.
Is that fair?
Made by a private CEO of a local corporation. And printed on Chinese plastic, and distributed by a machine that's actually made with Chinese components in a warehouse.
What about your DVD that you plugged out of the gates on Amazon?
Oh, yeah, but I don't have any problem with that part of it. I actually speak Chinese and travel over there. So,
see, this is liberal, dirty tricks. Folks, I'm not supposed to be able to sell books and videos to get my message out now.
No, I'm for it.
Can I ask you, though, about...
He took it all personal.
Can I ask you about...
Are you wearing women's underwear?
About what you think.
All right, go ahead.
Only 1 in 3 guys is allowed to. So yeah, I wouldn't.
Exactly.
Can I ask you what you think about what I said? Because I completely understand distrust of government. I'm just saying that I probably fear
government is a tool of the corporations.
Right, but absolutely.
So but I fear corporations is your issue then.
But if we eliminate the middleman,
you think you're in here with Ronald Reagan in this interview? You're not.
No, I fear if we eliminate the middleman, though, I fear what's behind the curtain even more, which is the for-profit CEO.
Oh no. They have government power. They've gotten the government to vote. And here's an example. They take your roads over, existing ones, put tolls on it you pay for, and then get a government bailout, which we learned that Center of Spain does everywhere. It's a scam.
Which is a states' rights act. That's local states' rights. That's Texas handing over basically a federally created, by the way, federal tax dollars building the federal highway system. And then Texas decides, you know what, we're going to hand over our toll roads and our major throughways that were made.
That's right. And Bush had to sign an executive order to block the federal law to let Perry do it.
Right. But that's you're arguing for.
But I mean, states can be evil, feds can be evil.
Right, I agree. But at least
it's supposed to be a balance between the feds and the states. It's getting out of control.
It's supposed to be our local, state, and federal government against corporations and foreign actors against us on one level, and the protection of an actual social structure where we can get where we need to be, street lights and the like on the way.
And vaccines. Where do you stand on vaccines?
I don't take them. I think
that's not very trendy.
Well, you seem to have this grouping of Democrats and liberals like we're all the same.
Same here with me. It's a joke.
I don't care about your guns, and I don't take the vaccines, and I don't drink bottled water as best I can. And
let me stop you for just a minute, because I want to spend some time with you guys, and you're all at the Cap City Comic Club tonight and the next 2 nights here in Austin, Texas. It's very evil. They have Chinese-made carpet there. Now continuing, it's a joke, folks. I like Cap City Comedy Club.
You
know, I'm the only guy out there known who puts my films out free on the internet. Immediately. I trailblazed that.
That's not true. There's a site called Xtube.
No.
Okay, but I've been doing this for 16 years, though.
I know.
And that's why I was successful.
I've been watching you
but this wasn't a plan of mine to be. I wanted to be successful in the message, and this is something.
Glenn Beck, man, there's money to be made in freaking people out, whether you're right or not. I mean, ultimately,
like Obama saying, you better raise the debt ceiling or no Social Security checks.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely. But
okay, enough of all that. I want to get into real material. Gentlemen, first, Richard Hunter, your view on 9/11. I mean, if the government was involved or let it happen, the point is these people need to be removed.
All right.
And both parties are involved. And the former head of Homeland Security admitted they issued terror alerts for political purposes. Does that concern you?
Yes. There are elements of 9/11, Building 7, et cetera. I look at it like the Kennedy assassination. I don't have a definitive theory that I'm comfortable with to tell you who I think was exactly behind the Kennedy assassination, but I will tell you without a doubt that it was no lone gunman. Mm-hmm. So and that's, 40-something years removed from that. We're even closer in time to 9/11, so I don't think it's even possible to say exactly what was behind it, but I think it's absolutely right to question and look at it from every angle.
I think the value of the 9/11 truth movement would be that it's all about the most truthful information that comes out. Once you start drawing conclusions of your own based on any dog you might have in the race, ultimately you help the sort of the governmental architecture version of things by either being viewed as for or against it. Whereas you can just go, look, there is no way Building 7 burned down. Nobody looks at it and thinks that for a second. So I want to know exactly what happened. And until I know exactly what happened, I'm not going to rest. And I'm not going to draw any conclusions, let you bait me into, it was, George Bush having breakfast with the bin Ladens on the morning of the thing, which. Well,
that's London Guardian.
Right.
And when all air traffic was shut down, 5 different flights flying the bin Ladens out of the country.
Totally.
And they got caught lying about it.
Right. No,
I'd ignore all that.
No.
But it's actually blowing my voice out here.
Is the problem, though, that it's so big that's how they keep us from compartmentalizing one mystery at a time? I mean, maybe that's the way to attack it, is to look at nothing but Building 7 until we can figure something out.
Because if something's wrong with that, the whole thing's shot.
Yeah, whenever you're trying to prosecute a criminal, if you try to go after that criminal before you have evidence that's offered in court, you go, we'll find the evidence as we go along, but I know that guy's guilty. He'll always walk. And that's the problem. And I think
but Building 7 is the bloody axe in the back of the trunk that matches the blood of the dead woman they found.
That's true.
And Building 7 is the bloody axe.
That's true.
So it's enough to start the investigation.
Right. I believe it's absolutely. But ultimately, it's the start of it. But the truth movement, if it has any value, is the dogged search for the actual video of what hit the Pentagon, the towers themselves, any footage that was done before, other than what was released, as it were. You need as much of it as possible so that it overwhelms the psychological effect of people not being able to believe the two.
Sure, Hal, let me ask you this question. This is a serious question. I want to get in a fight again, even though it was fun. My voice can't handle it now.
I know. That's how I get you.
Yeah. Well,
ever long.
If you go back, though, I understand counterbalancing 3 branches of government counterbalancing corporations, counterbalancing robber barons. I get all that. That's actually constitutional. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, who deals with the federal government when it goes bad and corporations put all their operatives in every position via revolving door when the government at the highest levels is covering up 9/11, which we know they're doing? Then who deals with the federal government?
Well, ultimately, if in a democracy, theoretically, the voters would. The problem is
electronic voting machines.
Right. Yeah. Well, that I'm not.
And it's confirmed in Ohio.
No question. Electronic voting machines, no paper trail, is a direct affront to a democracy. There's no question about that. We're completely on the same page in that area. But ultimately, regardless of those elements, the voters actually have the opportunity to do that. That's our only service point. That's our only way into it. The problem is, from a corporate point of view, trying to control 500 Congress critters, is very expensive and a pain in the butt, and it requires a lot of local maneuver. Controlling 100 senators, even more expensive because they hold giant districts, and I'm competing with other corporate interests in that thing. But the Supreme Court is a way better use of my money as a corporate controller. If I get people in there who are corporatists, running the Scalias and the Roberts of the world, the Clarence Thomas, who will follow anything behind there.
And that's why the president's so key, because with the presidency, you get the court.
Yeah. Ultimately, that's what you're shooting for. I mean, you got to look at, Mitt Romney, for example, who's arguably the front runner for the Republican side going this. Okay.
You should love him. He wrote Obamacare.
No, believe me, I'm for
he is a colossal flip-flopper.
Yeah.
He's an amazing body of flip-flopping.
What about Rick Perry?
Yeah.
Right.
Al Gore's former chief of staff in Texas, forced inoculations, NAFTA superhighway power grabs.
Right.
I mean, this guy is about as conservative.
Well, he's the guy who he's like the guy in the club who's going, this place stinks. I hate this dump. This is ridiculous. I'm leaving. I want to see your manager. This is pathetic. This is terrible service, sir. Let me see. Are you the manager? Are you guys hiring? Because that's really what he's doing. He's arguing for secession, and then now he wants to run for president. I hate this United States part so much.